Edward, who are you and what is Earth of Oryn?
Hey, hello everyone. So, who am I? I'm a developer from Belgium. I have a past in software development, but not especially in gaming. And but I start like when I was 15 or something like this, software development with a game that was a browser game, a shitty game, but it was doing pretty good at the time, and inspired me to continue in the software development direction. So I had like 7 years of professional working in development, but like 1.5 years ago, I decided to stop it and to come back to my first love. That was game development.
I'm very excited that you
And
did that step.
And so, what's Heart of Oryn all about? Heart of Oryn is an indie city builder with strategy, set in a medieval and fantasy world filled with story and heart. Build your
Story.
kingdom however you see fit. Will you inspire and lead your people with kindness and generosity, or command them with an iron fist and crush dissident beneath your heel? Starting from nothing, you must shape your kingdom perfectly to your vision while managing the needs and wants of your people.
Oh, that got me already very excited. And especially because you said that there is some lore and story behind it. Can you like give a little hint on that? Like what is the story? Is there like some faction war going on? You said fantasy. Is this like complete fictional worlds created by you?
Yep. So yes, it's a completely fictional world, and it will start with like 4 civilization, but there will be like many more, and they all have their very specific biome. So they will have to live differently to achieve the goal. So maybe you will start in the mountain, and the difficulty will be that it will be very cold. So you will have to handle things regard to this. But maybe you will start in the desert, and the water will be a very big problematic, and it will influence the gameplay. So I'm also writing a big story for the backend and the lore, and it will sorry.
All good. Can we expect like some sort of will it go crazy like Game of Thrones kind of thing with different faction houses intertwined?
Yeah, that's
war for power.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's the idea is to like reflect the real world, but in a world that doesn't exist, and I have like some philosophical question, like if you maybe you have a great civilization and everything is going well, but the country that is just next to you is going very bad, and they want to come to settle in your city, but they don't have the same belief, etc., etc. What are you going to do?
Oh, I see. So a lot of
yeah.
decision making. I do enjoy that. In terms of from a player's perspective, do you join like one of these major factions from the beginning, and you're like, I don't know, a pawn of a bigger king or something like that, and he's like, yeah, this is your place of lands, do something about it? Or do you start from scratch, and as you have developed all these factions, starts to raise up and raise for territory? How do you, as a player, play that?
The idea is that the civilization are already like settled, and there is already like some big city. So you will be like the hands of the king, and he will ask you to help a city that is not going very well. And if you succeed to it, he will help you. He will give you other mission, and it will go like always a bit or a bit bigger. And at the end, you may have to build your full castle and maybe be king yourself.
Oh, okay. Will that have any impact in terms of the king that hired you? Will there be like, hey, you become too powerful, I have to like attack you and take your force away, and if you manage it, you will take over and become the king of the faction?
Yeah, you will have to make decision about it. You choose. Maybe you want to stay with him, and that may be a good idea. But maybe you want to start your own civilization and keep people with you, and maybe attack him.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing. That sounds intriguing. So player-wise, how can I imagine that? Will you have like a biome where you start your mission and then like progress from there, and it's like generates then the next biome, the next mission, the next tasks? And do previous settlements that you've created influence the whole thing that is going on?
So you will have like in the campaign you will have like you build a castle, you have your level, and then you will have some more like exploring part where you go on a map, you have like some fog of war, you explore it, you maybe ask question to a old man that is sitting somewhere, and you have to decide where you want to go. And you will have some door on this map, and following the door you choose, you will start in a new map where you will have your mission, but maybe if you start over the campaign you will not make the same choice, so it will not end with the same story. And so you continue, you make a lot of level with different situation. Maybe sometime it will be like about reinforcing a castle. Maybe sometime it will be more like economical. And and if you want like to trade, you will have the possibility to see like the town that are around you and trade with them. But you will not like especially have to come back to your previous level to continue it. It will be always new levels.
I see. So, but I was wondering if your previous settlement like influences the economy that is like going on. If you like did a good job back there, if that helps you in your next mission, and you I don't know start with like extra 10 food because it did super good at the previous one.
In some way it will work like this, because like when you will decide to hang your current level, you will maybe choose group of settler and following if they are well armed, if they have good weapons and so on, or how many they are, you will not start in the next game the same way. So yeah, it will be important.
Oh, that sounds, first of all, a lot of replayability. I see a sense there. With the different factions, I guess we can also go into very different story arcs depending with a different origin and see where that goes. Will the faction itself, like you said, Alpine and Sand and like different struggles, will they also visually be very different to each other in terms of, we just see behind me like very kind of European inspired medieval things going on? Will they all have their own building style and soldier style and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's the idea. There will be like all very, very, very different because of the biome. They have adapt differently. So if you are in the mountain, you will use the stone to build your stuff, and if you are in a forest, you will use wood, of course. And so they will also, like, for example, because of the lack of water, they will unlock different technology because it's important to them. Or maybe because they live in a dark forest, they will have some belief that will be very, very different from other civilization. So also when they will encounter, they will not especially get on very well because their world are very, very different.
Oh, I sense so much potential here. Um, in terms of from the player's perspective, will there be like a story mode that you follow? As you said, there's like a lore and story behind it. Will there be free building where you just like build your settlement and just make it as pretty as possible, or just like I don't know, simple map loading, do your thing and like sandbox it away from there?
Yeah. So there is a different way to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
There is the campaign with the world story, etc. And you have like a single level that have a story, but it's just one level. So you play and it's finished. And then you can also like generate a random map and
Mm-hmm.
play it, or you can like build your world level yourself in a sandbox mode, creative mode, and you can generate the map, select the biome, select the people, already decide about what they believe or not. And if you want to go further, you can also like start in the map and have like free money, change everything, change the level of the terrain, change the building, etc., etc., because you just want to make a beautiful castle with a beautiful population, and sometimes it's just what you want.
Of course, and I like when games are so free in terms of choosing what you how you want to play the game, because everyone has a different aspect of what is fun and what is fun for them. So giving them the chance to just like be creative and build and don't have to worry about, I don't know, economy and war and blah blah blah, or
Yeah.
just be able to enjoy the story. Speaking of war and fights, how does it work? I have a little bit of like stronghold feelings. Do you like have this ecosystem where you, I don't know, chop wood, you create a bow, and then you can craft an archer? Or is it just, how does the fight war thing going on? How is that working?
Yeah, so at the beginning you start with settler, so you don't have like especially an army, but you will have to decide what resource to gather and create some building, unlock technology, and then decide to send some of your settler to be a soldier, and you will have
Mm-hmm.
also to build your castle to defend yourself, because it will be like all about siege. So
Mm-hmm.
design well your castle, and sometimes you will have like some wave of enemies coming with like trebuchet and so on, and they will like stay for some day and cut your line of trade, and you will have to do something about this.
Oh, amazing. That sounds interesting. That sounds interesting. Um, will there be also off-map scenarios where, I don't know, I compare it now to a game like Frostpunk, where you have your settlement building and there's like something happening off the map where you can send people out and like, as you said, I don't know, the trade route is under attack. Let's send 10 people over there, and then there's like a random factor in terms of how good the people are that you send over there, if the mission is successful or not, and then events happen and aftermath from
Yep.
there.
So you will be you will sometime have a siege, but of course you can create a whole army and send it to the next castle and siege yourself this castle to have some resources and more.
And is the fighting part, is it played out? Like, do you control your soldiers and be like, hey, attack this part of the wall and do this and charge there?
Yep. So it's not like Age of Empire where you micro everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you will have more like to place your people at the right area, so they will be effective. But you, if you want, when the war is launched, you can micro them, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not the goal. So you the the most important part is to prepare them, is to create some automation, to say like if an enemy is close to the gate, close it. If
Mm-hmm.
some siege are arriving, start firing to it and create a lot of process like this. So when the enemies arrived, you can just like sit down and enjoy the battles and see if what you prepare was good or not.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Chad just asked if there will be invasions and stuff like that happening. Yeah, there will be waves of sieging coming to you. Will there be also like events in terms of nature disaster, earthquake, bandits arriving, pack of wolves roaming through and attacking, or stuff like that?
Yeah, you will have to pay attention to some harassment, because when you like start some levels and you don't already have a big castle, etc. You maybe sometime in the night there will be some brigand or some wildlife, and so you will have to protect yourself about this. And of course, the weather also will be a threat to you. If you are in the desert, there will be like dust storm. Oh, you can have also like very heavy snow. Or for some other part, you can have also like a big sickness that is starting in your kingdom, and you will have to handle it.
Well, just bury off the part that is sick and just burn it all, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Sickness never happened.
That's how I try.
In terms of sand, because you said it's like a fantasy world and stuff like that, can we expect? And I'm now, my fantasy brain is going off. Can we expect like sandworms? Like,
so it's fantasy, but it's not like big fantasy with
Okay.
dragon and so on. But it will be more like about like in the wildlife. There will be some animals that are very inspired by prehistoric one. So it's more about like creating, adding wildlife that could have exist on Earth, and maybe a bit different. And also in the fantasy part, it's all about like some items and some resources that doesn't exist in our world.
I see.
In
I
Art
see.
of Oryn.
Good. So a low fantasy setting. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Wow. So we got a good story. We got different factions. We got an amazing city building with aspects towards each faction to look especially suiting to the setting and biomes and surrounding that they live in. Oh, we've got sieges. We've got. Is there also a sort of like diplomacy going on between those factions while you play campaign thing? Like, can you?
Yeah, of course.
Befriend?
If you can siege your neighbor, yeah, of course it will have a political aspect, and you will have also to make your whole political scheme for your citizen, and so you will have to try to attract some settler to your castle to make it bigger. But sometimes you will have some settler that don't have the same belief than yours, so you will have to play with it to make it work well.
I see. Andy asks, is this all factions human factions, or they're like non-human factions, like, I don't know, elves or dwarves or something like that?
No, it's more like whole human factions with some difference with our civilization, but not too much like dwarves or elves.
Gotcha. Well, as we said before, some low fantasy part. I would say, Edward, we gonna have a look at the trailer really quickly together, and I'll put the volume of the trailer like super low, and we can comment on it, or like if you want to point out any specific moment in the trailer, we can pause there and talk a little bit about it. And yeah, let's hop over to the trailer. Doom. Beautiful. So, make myself disappear over here as well. So, let's see here. So this is one of the factions that we can see already, I guess, with these stone buildings.
Yeah, it's Brentford.
Renford. I like that.
After hundreds of years of wandering and foraging, people started to settle and they built the foundations of today's civilizations. Some of them sought protections where the land touches the clouds.
So this is like some
while
alpine
others
biome. This is now
established
sandy.
themselves in the canyons
Yeah.
named Hamka, enduring heat and dust.
Oh, I love the art style that you're going for. See some crocodiles, some other wildlife. So I guess the wildlife will also be depending on the biome when they're where they're at.
Yes.
Look at that. And each like every piece that you see there placed by hand? Like, can you decide how the elevation goes, how the tile looks like? Is this whole city made by your hand?
You can do everything by hand, but you can also use some procedural generation tools to do it. So for the example here, I didn't place all the tree. I used some tool that I created before, so it's easier.
I see.
Oh,
look at that.
Bordered by the endless sea.
Okay, so here it feels like a little bit of a European forest-like biome.
Yeah, exactly.
The previous one was some alpine stuff. And there's some dark forests focusing on wood structures. Nice.
The kind of place that fables are written about.
What I can see here is also some events happening in terms of like rumors and what people did back then. Invent creatures that attacked you because, I don't know, some big bad wolf attacked you while you were out hunting, and then he comes back
That's
and
the
like,
vibe.
I don't know, and half human, half wolf man attacked me, and it was enormous, and basically it was just a wolf, and he scared himself to just exaggerate with the story, and then you have to investigate. I can see stuff like that happening.
Mastering the world around them.
Oh, look at that. As I see the settlers, and I also read that it's like inspired by Rimworld and Banished and stuff like that. Will the settlers have their own agenda in terms of each settler have its own perks and be like, he's lazy, he won't work so good, he's, I don't know, a genius and he will learn stuff faster?
That's exactly the idea. So each citizen will have their own capacities, and you will not act like you say, do this stuff, and they take the order without doing anything. But it's more like you say to someone like, go to this field to harvest it. But if he's sleepy, he will decide to go to sleep. And if he doesn't believe in you, he will just ignore you. So you will have to be a leader and that people trust you. You will have to build this trust in order to make it work. And sometime in some city, you will have a part of you people that want to follow you, but other that prefer to follow someone else or just do that stuff.
Oh, wow. So there will be like some inner, let's call it an inner political struggle going on in your city. Yeah. Wow. Will it also go up to the point where the other party will maybe start to riot and be like, I'm going to take force over and we're not going to listen to you anymore?
Yeah, and that's the idea. And maybe sometime you will start a level where you will have a big religious ruler, and you will have to try to take a position in this city to take the power instead of him. Oh, but it will not be an easy task if everyone is very have very strong belief about this guy.
Oh, that is super interesting. Okay, I see also some pasturing over here, fields going on. Nice, some trading stands, selling books. This looks like a cult.
Yeah, who's this?
Oh, do as the towns grow, the buildings automatically like upgrade themselves and look bigger, like it happens here right now.
Prosperous kingdoms.
Yeah, because in fact you will have different possibilities. You can like build yourself every building because you want a city that look super clean, or maybe you can use prefab and had some houses and then rent them, or you can just create a zone and let your people build what they want. And if those people become a bit richer, they will improve their home. So you will see your city grow organically.
Oh, that is
Small
beautiful.
towns turned
That is
into
beautiful.
Prosperous kingdoms. However,
I love when organic stuff like that is happening, so you have a field of the city is growing and developing.
and prosperity, while bad
Sorry?
times can
I said I like it when there is
Sorry.
an organic growth happening. You have the feeling of the city going forwards, becoming bigger. Stuff is happening. So amazing. Oh, we see here some ballistas and trebuchets.
lead to darker paths.
Fire! Will it have like destroyable modules? And oh my goodness! Oh!
You have the potential to be one of the greatest leaders of our time. How are you going to engrave your name in the history of Earth of Oryn?
Wow. Wow, Earth of Oryn, ladies and gentlebeards. This was amazing, Edward. I'm hyped. You guys have launched it on Kickstarter yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
That's it, yes.
Dear strategy fans and Vikings over here, if you like what you see, head over there. Wishlist it on Steam. Support on Kickstarter if you can. And we're going to have our fingers crossed for you, Edward, that this whole project will be a success. And hopefully I can invite you again when we have maybe playable demo or something like that at hand. Would be amazing. Do you have any last words to our dear audience out here?
Just if you like the concept, just go to the Kickstarter. It will be like it's a super important step for me because without it, I don't think I will be able to continue to work on this game. So if you like the concept, just go to the Kickstarter, and even a small amount is very helping. And let's make this project a reality, and let's see each other next time to play it.
Fingers crossed on that. Fingers crossed on that. Edward, thank you kindly for hanging out with us and taking your precious time of development to have a chat and present your game with me together. We are eager, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your week and say thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
See you.
Bye-bye.